Hey guys, today I want to read to you a book called Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot, drawings by Edward Gorey. Okay, here we go. Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. It's a kitty. It's a planter with a kitty on it. This book is respectively dedicated to those friends who have assisted in its composition by their encouragement, criticism, and suggestions, and in particular to Mr. T.E. Fibber, Miss Allison Tandy, Miss Susan Wolcott, and Miss Susanna Morley, and the man in white spats. O.P. I think that means Old Possum. Okay. Here you go. Table of contents. The naming of cats. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first, I'm as mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's the name of the family that the family uses daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James, such as Victor, or Jonathan, or George, or Bill Bailey. All of them very sensible names. There are fancier names, if you think they sound sweeter, some for the gentlemen and some for the dames, such as Plato, Demetis, Electra, Demeter, but all of them sensible everyday names. But I can tell you, a cat needs a name that's particular, a name that's peculiar and more dignified. How else can he keep up his tail perpendicular, or spread out his whiskers, or cherish his pride? Of names of this kind I can give you a quorum, such as Monkskutrap, Quacho, Corepat, such as Bambularina, or else Jellylorum, names that never belong to more than one cat. But above all, there's still one name left over, and that's the name you will never guess, the name that no human research can discover, but the cat himself knows and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason I tell you is always the same. His mind is engaged in rapt contemplation of the thought of his name, his ineffable, affable, ineffable, deep and inscrutable, singular name. The Old Grumpy Cat. The Old Grumpy Cat. I have a Grumpy Cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Annie Dots. Her coat is of the tabby kind with tiger stripes and leopard spots. All day she sits upon the stair, or on the steps, or on the mat. And she sits and sits, and that's what makes her a Grumpy Cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Grumpy Cat's work is but hardly begun. And when all the family is in bed and asleep, she slips down the stairs in the basement to creep. She is deeply concerned with the ways of the mice. Their behavior is not good, and their manners not nice. So when she's got them lined up on the matting, she teaches them music, crochet, and tatting. I have a Grumpy Cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Annie Dots. Her equal would be hard to find. She likes the warm and sunny spots. All day she sits behind the hearth or in the sun or on my hat. She sits and sits and sits and sits. And that's what makes a grumpy cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the grumpy cat's work is but hardly begun. She finds that the mice will not ever keep quiet. She is sure it is due to a regular diet. And believing that nothing is done without trying, she sets straight to work with her baking and frying. She makes them a mouse cake of bread and dried peas, and a beautiful fry of lean bacon and cheese. I have a grumpy cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Any Dots. The curtain cord she likes to wind and tie it into sailor knots. She sits upon the windowsill or anything that's smooth and flat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a grumpy cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the grumpy cat work is but hardly begun. She thinks that the cockroaches need employment to prevent them from idle and wanton destroyment. So she's formed from that lot of disorderly louts a troop of well-disciplined, helpful Boy Scouts. With the purpose in life and good deed to do, she's even created a beetle's tattoo. So, for all grumpy cats, let us now give 3 cheers, on whom well-ordered households depend, it appears. Growl Tiger's Last Stand. Growl Tiger was a bravo cat who travelled on a barge. In fact, he was the roughest cat that ever roamed at large. From Gravesend to Oxford, he pursued his evil aims, rejoicing in the title of the Terror of the Thames. His manners and appearance did not calculate to please. His coat was worn and seedy. He was baggy at the knees. One ear sometimes was missing. No need to tell you why. And he scowled upon a hostile world from one forbidden eye. The cottages of Rotherhithe knew something of his fame, and Hammersmith and Putney people shuddered at his name. They would fortify the hen house, lock up the silly goose, and when the rumour ran along the shore, Growl Tiger's on the loose. Woe to the weak canary that fluttered from its cage. Woe to the pampered Pekingese that face Growl Tiger's rage. Woe to the bristly bandicoot that lurks on foreign ships, and woe to any cat whom Growl Tiger came to grips. But most to cats in foreign race his hatred had been vowed. To cats of foreign name and race no quarter was allowed. The Persian and the Siamese regarded him with fear, because it was the Siamese that mauled his missing ear. Now on a peaceful summer night, all nature seemed at play. The tender moon was shining bright, and the barge at Molesey lay. All in the balmy moonlight it lay rocking on the tide, and the Growl Tiger was disposed to show his sentimental side. His bucko mate, Grumpuskin, long since had disappeared, for to the bell at the Hampton he had gone to wet his beard, and his bosun, Tumble Brutus, he too had stolen away. In the yard behind the lion he was prowling for his prey. In the forepeak of the vessel, Growl Tiger sat alone, concentrating on his attention on the Lady Grindlebone, and his ravished crew were sleeping in their barrels and bunks, as the Siamese came creeping in their sampans and their junks. Growl Tiger had no eye or ear for aught but Griddlebone, and the lady seemed enraptured by his manly baritone, disposed to relaxation and awaiting no surprise. But the moonlight shone, reflected from 100 bright blue eyes, and closer still, and closer the sampans circled round, and yet from the enemy there was not heard a sound. The lovers sang their last duet in danger of their lives, for the foe was armed with toasting forks and cruel carving knives. Then Gilbert gave the signal to his fierce Mongolian horde. With a frightful burst of fireworks, the Chinks they swarmed aboard. Abandoning their sampans and their pullaways and junks, they battened down the hatches and the crews within their bunks. Then Griddlebone, she gave a screech, for she was badly scared. I'm sorry to admit it, but she quickly disappeared. She probably escaped with ease, I'm not sure. I'm sure she was not drowned, but a serried ring of flashing steel Grotaga did surround. The ruthless foe pressed forward, and in stubborn rank on rank, Grotaga, to his vast surprise, was forced to walk the plank. He who 100 victims had given to that trop, at the end of all his crimes, he was forced to go kerflip kerflop. Oh, there was joy in Wapping, and when the news flew the land, at Maidenhead and Henley there was dancing on the strand. Rats were roasted whole at Brentford and at Victoria Dock, and a day of celebration was commanded in Bangkok. The Rum-Tum Tiger. The Rum-Tum Tiger is a curious cat. If you offer him pheasant, he would rather have grouse. If you put him in a house, he would much prefer a flat. If you put him in a flat, then he'd rather have a house. If you set him on a house, then he only wants a rat. If you set him on a rat, he'd rather chase a mouse. Yes, the Rum-Tum Tiger is a curious cat. And there isn't any call for me to shout it, for he will do as you do, and there's nothing you can do about it. The Rum-Tum Tiger is a terrible bore. When you let him in, then he wants to be let out. He's always on the wrong side of every door. As soon as he's at home, he's like to go about. He likes to lie in the bureau drawer, and he makes a fuss if he can't get out. Yes, the Rum-Tum Tiger is a curious cat, and there isn't any use for you to doubt it, for he will do as you do, and there's nothing you can do about it. The Rum-Tum Tiger is a curious beast. His disobliging ways are a matter of habit. If you offer him fish, then he'll always want a feast, and if there isn't any fish, then he won't eat rabbit. If you offer him cream, then he sniffs and sneers, or only likes what he finds for himself. So if you catch him in it right up to his ears, then if you put it away on the larder shelf. The Rum-Tum Tiger is an artful and knowing. The Rum-Tum Tiger doesn't care for a cuddle, but then he'll leap on your lap in the middle of your sewing. There's nothing he likes. He enjoys like a horrible muddle. And yet the Rum-Tum Tiger is a curious cat. There isn't any need for me to spout it, for he will do as you do, and there's nothing you can do about it. The Song of Jellicles. Jellicle cats, come out tonight, Jellicle cats. Come one, come all, the Jellicle moon is shining bright. Jellicles come to the Jellicle ball. Jellicle cats are black and white. Jellicle cats are rather small. Jellicle cats are merry and bright, and pleasant to hear when they cut a wall. Jellicle cats have cheerful faces. Jellicle cats have bright black eyes. They like to practice their airs and graces and wait for the Jellicle moon to rise. Jellicle cats develop slowly. Jellicle cats are not too big. Jellicle cats are roly-poly. They know how to dance a gavotte and a jig until the Jellicle moon appears. They make the toilet and take their repose. Jellicles wash behind their ears. Jellicles dry between their toes. Jellicle cats are black and white. Jellicle cats are of moderate size. Jellicles jump like a jumping jack. Jellicle cats have moonlit eyes. They're quiet enough in the morning hours. They're quiet enough in the afternoon, reserving their terpsichorean powers to dance by the light of the Jellicle moon. Jellicle cats are black and white. Jellicle cats, as I said, are small. If it happens to be a stormy night, they'll practice a caper or two in the hall. If it happens the sun is shining bright, you would say they had nothing to do at all. They are resting and saving themselves to be right for the jellicle moon and the jellicle ball. Alright, I'm going to stop here. And that's the first half of Old Possum's book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. Hope you liked it.